Hello again, one more time in Chapter 9, and we're going to talk about the last two sections. The first one is called the square of opposition. Sounds like a medieval torture device. It's not. It's really going to help us a little bit with figuring out equivalencies. Is this true, false, that kind of thing. So we know by just logic, of course, that all cats are carnivores, our A statement, is the opposite of no cats are carnivores. So they can't ever both be true, right? If one is true, the other one has to be false. And the same kind of thing when we get down to the subcontraries, the I statement, some cats are carnivores, some cats are not carnivores. If it's true that some are carnivores, then yes, of course it's true that some are not. Okay, that some gets in there. These are called subcontraries. They can't both be false. Okay, and on the square of opposition, E is diagonal from I. They can't be the same value. Okay, so if I say no cats are carnivores, then I can't say some cats are carnivores. Okay, and the same with the A and O statements. If I say all cats are carnivores, I can't say some are not. Okay, so that's just logical, right? But those are contradictories. Now, when we use the square of opposition, we're given two statements. Okay, the first statement is always true. Okay, so we know that the first statement is true. So what about the second statement? Is it true or false? Or indeterminate? Okay, sometimes that happens. And so what we're given, so I'm going to do a couple little things here and show you. So if I have an all SRP, okay, that's an A statement. And then my second one is a some S are not P, okay, that's an O statement. Now, I know that this first one is true. I have to figure out that one. And I can do that here with the square of opposition. And I'm going to start here. So I'm going to start with my true. And then O is over here. So it's all the way over here. Now we know contradictories. So this one has to be false. Okay? Same thing if we start with the E and go to I, or the I and go to E. They're false. They have to be the opposite value, and since we're starting with the first one being true, the second one's false. Okay? Now, I'm really going to mess this up, so it's okay. So if I have some SRP, that's an I statement. Okay, so this one's my true. And then I have an A statement, all SRP. That's an A statement. Okay, so I've got to figure out what that one is. So if I'm starting here with true, I can't get to A directly. Okay, I can only do side to side and diagonal. I can't do back to back. Now, if you go online and you look for the square of opposition, so you can basically copy and paste it or whatever, it might have other things you can do on it. We are only doing these three: contraries, subcontraries, contradictories. That's it. Okay, keep that in mind. So for my I statement, some SRP, and then I have to get to all SRP. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go up to E. So they're contradictories. So this is false, but it's on the way, so it's not quite done yet. And then over here. Now, here's a problem. My contraries say not both true. They can both be false. Okay, so E is false, so A is indeterminate, and I just do it this way, true slash false. We don't know. Okay. I know, kind of weird, but that's how it works. I'm going to do one more. I want to show you this other. So if I have sum SR P, let's do a sum SR not P, which is an O. Okay, that not. And then do well, any which way I go except for A is going to be interesting. So I'm going to say, okay, so what about sum SRP? Okay, that's an I statement. Now I'm going straight across, right? I have my true going straight across here. They can't both be false. This is true, so this is indeterminate, true or false, which makes sense, right? Because if I say sum SRP, sum SR not P, then I'm also saying sum SRP, really, on the other side of it. So true or false? Probably true, but we can't say for 100% sure because they can't both be false, but they can both be true. Okay, so be careful about these, especially ones that start with the sums. If you start with an all or no, you will get definitive answers all the way around the board. Okay, if you start with an I or an O, unless you're going just, direct to the diagonal, you don't get a straight answer. Kind of like life, right? Okay, so you can, in the homework, either draw them, okay, make a new square for each question, or you can tell me using these three rules, contraries, A and E are contraries, and they both can't be true. So somebody has to be false, right? Contradictories, they're not the same value. So if my A is true, my O is false. And then subcontraries, I to O, they can't both be false. Okay, but they can both be true. So keep those in mind, work out those. So you can either, like I said, you can either draw them, or you can write out the rules. These rules, these three words, contrary, contradictory, subcontrary. Nothing else, just those, okay? The other part of this section, 9D, is the categorical equivalence, okay? And honestly, they're on the back of my cheat sheet. So I have my lovely, happy, lopsided pieces there for the 4 standard Venn diagrams. And then on the back, I have the square of opposition with the rules, just like that, without all the colors on it. And then I have the conversion pieces, okay? So I have the categorical equivalence. Back in, I want to say section 2, section B, the translated standard forms, we looked at how to know if they're equivalent based on what they look like on the graph. And now we can do kind of a flippy thing, which is why things worked really well. Conversion, you obtain the converse of an E or I by reversing the positions of the subject and predicate. Okay, so no cats are carnivores, no carnivores are cats. You get the same drawing, okay? But here, so E and I are equivalent under the form of conversion, okay? And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's a little tiny paragraph on page 312. So some students are geniuses is the same thing as some geniuses are students. Okay, flip things back. And you can do this, and you are asked sometimes to do this with all 4 kinds of statements, but only 2 of them will be equivalent. The others are not equivalent. It's not that you can't do that. They're just not equivalent, okay? Obversion is kind of interesting. So you start out with all SRP, okay? And it's the same as no SR non-P. So for obversion, what you're doing is taking the complement of the first class. Thus, if there's a class P, there is also a class non-P. Okay, every time we make a categorical statement, all cats are carnivores. Okay, that's good. We're also saying there is a nothing, a null set for the no cats are carnivores. Anyway, this is for an E or I statement, and it gives you directions here. Replace the predicate term with its complement. So instead of carnivore, you're a non-carnivore. Okay? And then switch the statement from affirming to negative or from negative to affirming. Okay? So it's either going to go from all to no, no to all. Or it's going to go from some are to some not. They can't go from all to some. Okay, it's either a universal or a particular. Stay in your lane. Okay, and those are equivalent for all four statement types. Okay, the last one, the contraposition, is only equivalent for A's and O's. So I's and E's for conversion, A's and O's for contraposition. And for contraposition, you're supposed to reverse the positions of subject and predicate, so make it no PRS, or sorry, all PRS, and then make both terms their complementary terms, okay? So all carrots are vegetables go to all non-vegetables are non-carrots, okay? So we put that non in front of both terms, and then we flip them, okay? It's not difficult. It's a little bit fiddly, I guess you would say. And so we're going to work through those. And then you have some homework pieces for that. I have put up on Blackboard in the 9A slot. I might have them in another place. Anyway, you have copies of my previous, they have their own page numbers on there. I didn't realize that until I was looking at them the other day. My previous attempt at this 3x5 card. They come in really handy, especially when I'm trying to grade homework and I'm like, wait, did I get that? Are they doing? But it's also good for me when I'm doing the homework to look and see what I've got, make sure, okay? Maybe you don't need that kind of a mnemonic. I take all the help I can get when it comes to memory stuff. So make sure that you're asking questions if you have them. And also make sure when you get to section 9.10, you have 3 different sets of exercises, and so make sure you do the ones assigned in all 3 pieces, okay? So that's chapter 9. Make sure that you've had a look. You also have the homework video, of course, and then we'll have a video for the study guide and exam. So we'll go on from there. I hope that helps you a little bit. I hope that helps you get over the, what is this thing? The square of opposition is not scary. It's helpful and easy. And so makes our lives a little bit easier when we're looking at categorical statements. So I hope that helped. If you have questions, ask. You know how to get a hold of me. You have my email.